for me, like the PE licensing, the need for it mainly arose because of the work that I do. So I do like a lot of technical work, and uh, if you want to go beyond a certain point in your career, it's kind of very crucial to have your PE qualification. Came into this with I had like a goal set to get the P exam preparation done in the 3 to 4 months time period. I think when the exam was closed, I had a pretty good idea of what kind of problems I would see. I knew that these were the topics that I would struggle a little bit in, so I would prioritize them in a certain way in the actual exam.
3 to 4, 5 months maximum, go ahead and schedule the exam. You should have something on the calendar. You did that. And you were holding yourself accountable to course completion. You were holding yourself accountable to a scope rather than hours. Hi, Aarsh.
Hey, Wasim.
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
Yep, I'm good. Excited to have the P exam behind me.
Yeah, congratulations. You got the P Power exam done in the first attempt, and that too in a relatively short period of time. In the grand scheme of things, it's a fairly short period of time. So, how about you walk me through your journey, Aarsh? When did you graduate? I think you graduated internationally, right? And then you did masters in the US.
Yep, that's right. So I graduated from my bachelor's back in 2018, which was back from India. And then I completed my master's in 2019 from Texas A&M. And then I've been working full time ever since. So I gave my FE exam in May 2024. And then right away I started preparing for my PE, and I just passed it today. The exam was on 4th September. Yeah, so got a result in a week.
Yeah, so it took you about 5 months to prepare for the PE, less than 5 months, about 4 months to prepare for the PE Power
Yeah,
exam.
3.5 months. Yeah.
Right. And you work in a technical role, you work in MEP environment, consulting environment. So the value of the P license is very clear in that space. But having completed masters as well, what prompted you to pursue the P license? Was your professors that recommended you at university at Texas A&M, or in the field you recognized that there was value in P license and FE exam, P exam?
So for me, like the PE licensing, the need for it mainly arose because of the work that I do. So I do like a lot of technical work, and uh, if you want to go beyond a certain point in your career, it's kind of very crucial to have your PE qualification in order to get that license. In order to be able to lead projects, it's very important. So was the step made a lot of sense to me, and that's the reason I gave the PE exam.
That's great. In terms of your P exam preparation, you signed up for my program, the On Demand P Power course, in May of this year, 2024. And you basically utilize the program 100%. Going through it in 3 to 4 months with full focus and then taking the exam. That is the ideal way to go about it. I've come across folks who give themselves extra amount of time, which is fine. I understand that in some scenarios, having extra time does help. What was your approach in terms of when you signed up for the course? Did you schedule the exam right away? What was your time management like? How did you balance work, life, and everything?
Yeah, so I think for me, like the approach that I took was, I reached out to a few friends who had already taken the PE exam. I got a feel for, what's the typical timeline that they have prepared for, and I got an idea like about 3 to 4 months is a good enough time if you are, completely focusing on preparing for the PE exam. So that's what I came into this with. I had like a goal set to get the P exam preparation done in the 3 to 4 months time period. So what I first did was I signed up for the on-demand course with Wasim, and then I took about a week or about week to 10 days to kind of familiarize myself with the content to see what were the contents of the exam, what all I would need, how much familiar I was with some topics, how much I wasn't. So got a feel for that, and kind of that just boosted that confidence in me that hey, this seems something which I can achieve in 3 to 4 months of time frame. So once I had that confidence, I scheduled my exam, and then yeah, I mean, once the date was in front of me, it was just like everyday goals. I kind of set a couple hours of study every day, a little bit before my work, a little bit after my work. So my path was to watch on demand videos for a certain topic, and then once I'm through with that topic, I would use Wasim's study guide, and kind of knock off all the questions that were related with that topic. And that was just the routine that I used to follow. And on demand course, it comes with a good tracker, so it kind of shows percentage complete. So it's very easy. Like I have like a certain percentage in mind that I want to achieve by the end of a week. So that's what my goal is. So sometimes I have to put in more hours, I do, but that's the tracker that kind of keeps me going. And yeah, so that's what I did for most of the time. So once I started that, I was kind of in an autopilot mode. I went through it, and then as I was nearing the on-demand content, I started to try to think of some exams that I can take, some mock exams. So I kind of set up dates for that. The last mock exam that I took was about like a couple of weeks before my actual exam. I didn't want to give a mock exam right before the actual exam. I felt like if it doesn't go good, it might make me nervous. So like 2 weeks of time was good enough. And then yeah, once I did all the mock exams, I analyzed the topics that I wasn't doing too great in. So I kind of did more problems on that. If needed, I would revisit your on-demand course to learn all the something that I had missed the original time, stuff like that. And then I think when the exam was closed, I had a pretty good idea of what kind of problems I would see. I knew that these were the topics that I would struggle a little bit in, so I would prioritize them in a certain way in the actual exam. So yeah, I mean, yeah, overall it was fun experience. It was a lot of new things to learn, and definitely I had fun throughout the time. I never felt like there was not that much pressure. And again, like all the credit goes to you, Wasim. Like it is structured in such a nice way that it's easy to follow, and then just puts the fun in exams.
Yeah, well, you were the one who did all the hard work.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it was.
it's I can clearly see the level of consistency that you put in, right? You were extremely organized from the get go. You schedule your exam right away. And I was paying attention to some of the key strategies that you implemented. You divided your study time in two pieces, in two parts throughout the day, one before work and one after work. I think the first segment, which is studying before you start your work, is crucial. The challenge there is obviously you have to wake up a little bit earlier and sacrifice on sleep and modify your routine, which is not that easy. But once you get into a rhythm, I find that that portion of the studying typically tends to be really high quality, at least for me and what I've heard from other students. The time that you give yourself at the tail end, right at the end of the day, for example, after coming from work, or if you're working from home, when you're fully exhausted, tons and tons of meetings, and doing design, and you work in a pretty technical field as well. So that typically leaves you with lower amount of energy, focus, and attention. But you did the smart thing by sort of shifting, and dividing your study time. That's a really good tip. Scheduling the exam, that's a really good tip. And keeping your eyes on the progress completion. One thing that I'm trying to tell my students in the current round of live training, majority of students who are in my P Power program, are coming from my FE program. A lot of students coming into my P Power program after having failed the exam previously using other resources and whatnot. And I run live training as well. So in the kickoff meeting for my live training program, I tell my students that 3 to 4 5 months maximum, go ahead and schedule the exam. You should have something on the calendar. You did that, and you were holding yourself accountable to course completion. You were holding yourself accountable to a scope rather than hours. A lot of people are like, okay, I'm going to study 2 hours. I think that's what you were sort of baselining, benchmarking against as well. But you pointed out that if you were not able to hit that percentage for the week, you had no hesitation putting an extra amount of effort in order to get there. So this is sort of a scope based approach, which means that you don't look at the clock in terms of how much you are putting in terms of effort, but you look at the amount of scope that you have to complete. And if you can complete that hypothetically in 1 hour, fine. If it takes you 10 hours, it is still the same because you have to get it done. And you maintain that very systematically up until the end of the exam. And I know when we had the onboarding Zoom call, which I do with every single student of mine, uh, I told you that at least 2 weeks you have to leave aside for practice exams. And you took that advice. Seems like you wanted to do probably one or two more practice exams, but you didn't have the time. But that's okay. You did well enough to understand what the scope of the exam is, what is the level of difficulty, what are the concepts that you need to learn. And you having completed your undergraduate and masters at A&M, Texas A&M, very good university, having about 6-7 years of practical experience, still found things to learn in the program, tells me that you were also enjoying the process, not necessarily just trying to get over with this exam. And if you can get in that frame of mind where you look at this time that you're investing, effort that you're investing, the sacrifices that you're making, not only in the context of the exam preparation, but also to level up your skills, then that's where you enter the flow state very easily, where the exam preparation is not that intimidating or dreadful thing that you have to sort of force yourself into every single day. It almost becomes something that you look forward to. It can even become a little bit therapeutic because you lose yourself in the process of learning if you're really enjoying it, right? So that helps. Yeah. In terms of actual exam day, how did you manage your time, Arsh?
Yeah, so for the exam day, like I knew that, like PE exam is not exactly like the FE wherein you are in a crazy rush of time. So I knew I had my time. I knew like it averages out to like 6 minutes a question. I knew that, yeah, going in. So I think I was given like an equal half, 40 questions in the morning session and 40 in the afternoon. I believe that's how the split was. But what happened was I found to be getting like a lot of the NEC related questions in the first half. So I knew like that was something that I wasn't familiar with, right? Like the NEC was me learning that for the first time. So I knew that that section would take me a little bit more time. So I was comfortable spending a little over 4 hours in the morning session because I knew that NEC questions will take some time for me. And I believe I went like 20 minutes over in the morning session, but I was easily able to manage it in the second half because second half was more direct questions, just
Easier
questions on,
questions.
yeah, easier questions.
Section
Some,
3 and Section 4, when you
yes.
get to that, it is, the interesting thing about Section 3 and Section 4 is that they, you cannot be comfortable with those topics: induction, synchronous, transformer, protection, and stuff. Well, you have background in protection, so that helps you. Um, but people who struggle in Section 3 and Section 4, I tell them that you really have to go back and fix circuit analysis, three phase, per unit, symmetrical components, because a lot of the more abstract concepts, fault analysis, and things like that, those are symptoms. If you're struggling in there, is symptom of poor understanding in three-phase system. It's a symptom of poor understanding of per unit and symmetrical components. So you were comfortable spending extra time in the morning half, and then in the afternoon, and yeah, you got the result, and no doubt with the amount of effort that you put in and the consistency that you put in, you got the result and you passed the exam. So congratulations, good things await you, Arsh.
Thanks for seeing.
Yeah, in the future, and I'm sure that combining your graduate degree with 6-7 years of experience with the PE credentials, it is going to take you places.
Thanks for seeing. Yeah. Again, thanks again for your help, and yeah, it's been phenomenal working with you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your kind words of appreciation. Thanks. Bye. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. On a weekly basis, I'm creating content for FE electrical and PE power exam preparation. I also discuss topics related to electrical engineering with a focus on power systems engineering. If you'd like to learn more about my FE electrical and PE power exam preparation programs, please visit my website, StudyForFE.com.